Hi everybody, I'm Stuart.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
Where are we, Lisa?
We are in Thousand Trails, Long Beach, Washington.
Which is 20 miles from the Oregon border on the coast.
Yeah, we've been having a good time. We've been here, like a week, almost a week. We wish we would have stayed longer. We're just minutes from the beach. We can walk right down to the ocean.
So last time we talked we were in Birch Bay, which was the north part of Washington on the coast near the Canadian border. Now we're on the south part. We'll kind of try and keep this short and sweet, but give some insight into what's happened between North Washington and South Washington.
I think it's been a couple months we've been here in Washington, and we've had a great time. The weather's been great the whole time we've been here. I got to see my family and friends. We've hung out with a lot of our friends because we lived in Washington many years. So it'll be kind of bittersweet to say goodbye to Washington, but we're looking forward to going to Oregon.
So coming back to Long Beach,
yeah.
We just got back from a 5-mile round trip walk. There's a nice trail, a paved walkway that goes from Cape Disappointment miles north past Long Beach. We walked part of that, 2.5 miles into Long Beach and 2.5 miles back, and we stopped in at Captain Bob's for a clam chowder.
Yeah, we thought, it's kind of getting, cold and a little windy, and it hasn't rained yet, but kind of misty. I said, let's get some good clam chowder. So we did some research, and we found this Big Bob's, clam chowder.
Don't want to knock it too hard, but it was a dump, and the clam chowder was awful.
It was so bad that we walked back into town. From there, we kept walking into town, and we found another restaurant, and it said award-winning clam chowder. So we're like, we got to go and try really good clam chowder. But we were kind of full, so we said, heck, let's just go in there anyway. We went in there, and it was the clam chowder. We had it in a sourdough bowl, and then we had some oysters on the half shell.
Just checking Castaway's Seafood Grill.
Yeah. So thumbs up for that one.
2 thumbs up to Castaway's Seafood Grill. 2 thumbs down to Billy Bob's clam chowder.
So we were just talking about.
It's actually a dump. It's a little dump.
Yeah, notes to self.
Yeah, we have a few notes to self.
Yeah,
we've invented notes to self.
Yeah, so we need to do a whole show just on notes to self. Since we've been on this journey, we've made so many mistakes and stuff, and we're like, so our note to self was, what was our note to self today?
If you walk into a restaurant, double air quotes, and you don't like the look of it, walk straight back out.
Yeah, there was a garbage pail right when we walked in. I mean, it was kind of a seaside, clam chowder, seafood place, but it was right next to this family fun thing, and it was just
souvenir shop kind of
thing. Yeah, anyway, we paid, $20 for the clam chowder. It was
awful.
Horrible.
All right, but anyway, let's not dwell too much on it. So we get notes to self, so we have a few that we'll share today. We've got many more, and we'll summarize really quickly what we did going back from Birch Bay. But Long Beach, Thousand Trails, quickly, it's very small campsite, very few sites, very tight, but open, and the advantage is very close, walking distance to the beach, which is the Pacific Ocean, and
a cute town, and
we went to Cape
and we were just saying that's the thing about. I woke up so happy today, and just like I feel like we're on vacation all the time. I mean, not that we have some bad things that we've had to deal with, but we were just, Thousand Trails brings us to locations so we get to sightsee, and we get to, hike and do kayaking and, things that we like to do. So this location's been great, and we've done kayaking here. Yeah. We had sunset twice. We went and saw sunset.
On the beach. Very romantic.
And we went to Cape Disappointment, which is a beautiful state park here.
Lots of Lewis and Clark history here. The guys that mapped out the USA from Missouri to Washington, 1804, 1805, 2-year journey. Well, they came here in this area. Out the USA from Missouri to Washington, 1804, 1805, 2-year journey. Well, they came here in this area, so there's quite a lot of history here. Anyway, great little town. Probably real busy in the summer. We just missed the summer. Probably real busy. So have we said enough on that?
I know. I'm trying to think if we got all the things we did. I think we got but there's one more thing we want to do tomorrow. We want to go see the
Lewis and Clark, Centre.
Yeah, and it sits on the cliff, so on the ocean.
It's in the same place we went the other day, Cape Disappointment State Park, but they have a Lewis and Clark, what's the research centre,
Right.
or learning
Right,
centre.
and Cape Disappointment sits right on the Columbia, and why they call it Cape Disappointment is just because of the ships coming in of shipwreck. There's been so many shipwrecks there because of the tides and.
Should have been really called Cape Disaster.
Yeah.
Or Cape Shipwreck, or
Yeah.
Cape Dead Sailors.
Yeah.
but it's called Disappointment. So quickly though, when we arrived here on September 23rd, again today's the 28th, we're leaving on Wednesday, October 1st. Before here we were at Chehalis 1,000 Trails, which was the first 1,000 trails and the oldest 1,000 trails. That was great. We had a site there, I think A45, nice and open, very quiet, large campgrounds,
Yeah.
nice trail around there.
Yeah.
And from Chehalis we did the Mount Rainier National Park, and we did a pretty arduous for us.
Oh, it was the hardest hike we did
Hike
so far,
on
but
Mount
stunningly
Rainier.
gorgeous. We did this loop, and it took us 3 hours, and I almost turned around on it. And Stuart's like, I think it's just right up. We can, it'll go back downhill, and we'll go back to the parking. And it kept going uphill, uphill, uphill. It was about 3 hours round trip, and it was marked as a strenuous hike. So it was strenuous.
It was for us.
But it was great. And so, yeah, Chehalis, we definitely want to go back there. Our campsite was just, nobody was there. Like, but we didn't do much. That's the only thing we did the whole week. But it gave us a downtime because we had just been in Gig Harbor for like 9 days seeing my family, and it was fun. I got to stay with my daughter.
So we jumped back from Chehalis, we were in Gig
Well, because
Harbor.
you're kind of going backwards.
I'm going backwards, I am. So from Chehalis going backwards, we were in Gig Harbor,
Yeah.
which is home for us. That was for both of us for
Yeah.
many years.
And we hung out with friends, and so by the time 9 days of just drinking and a lot of eating, we kind of looked forward to just kind of the downtime we had in Chehalis, which was way out in the country. Beautiful country.
And before Gig Harbor, we were in 1,000 Trails La Conner from August 29th to September 13th. Now, August Trails La Conner is owned, the ground is owned by the Swinomish
Yeah,
tribe, and the leased to 1,000 Trails. So therefore, there's lots of rules, like you can't cut down any trees. Very woodsy. It was very tight, very woodsy. So one of the notes to self is don't fight with trees. So we had a fight with a tree because I couldn't level the rig. It took us 4 sites to find a site that was suitable for our 40-foot rig, and in the meantime I got frustrated and annoyed.
Well,
and
I
ended
think
up
the note to self too was if you have doubts when you look at a campsite, just don't try to do it because it's 2 hours out of your day. So the first one, Stuart looked at it and said, there's no way I'm going in there. So then you go back and say, give me another site. So luckily they had another site, and we thought, and we could back in. There was a rock
and a tree
and a big tree. And Stuart backed in. We kind of knit.
But you say it's rock, giant boulder.
Yeah, kind of hit the rock a little bit, but we made it in there. The hard part about that site was leveling. So we're trying to get it, level by moving the rig around. We can't put out the slides unless the rig's level because we could ruin the slides. And so, anyways, so Stuart hugs this tree, and it is so cringeworthy, you guys, when you watch, and your husband's going to destroy the rig, and you're just watching it happen, but you don't know what to do. And so I'm on the walkie-talkie, and he's just like, you're hugging it.
I knocked off the slide-out topper. When the slide-outs come out, they have a topper that covers it.
Yeah.
Knocked the whole thing off.
Well, tell him how you had to make a decision. You could either go forward and take out
the slide topper, which I did do, or I could go backwards and damage the awning.
And the awning. And the awning, we love the awning, because it goes out and
If I'd hit the awning, it would have been much more damaged. The bottom line is I could have not damaged either of those things, but I was so annoyed and so frustrated, I drove forward knowing that I was going to knock off the topper, which is exactly what I did. So that's about $500 to $600, and the cost of everything I'll share to get a new awning. The whole piece is probably going to be $500, $600.
So he wakes
I'll
me
do
up
it myself.
like
Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah. If I do it myself, it'll be $700. If I got someone else to fit it back, it'd be $2,000. So I'll end up doing it myself with help from someone, but it's not required really, so it won't be for a while.
Yeah.
So, what
well, I was just thinking sometimes we get frustrated and we don't really stop and think something through. We've done that a lot on the journey, So Stuart, like in the middle of the night, wakes me up and goes, "Lisa, all I had to do was turn the wheel. I think if I would have turned the wheel this way, I could have got out."
I was thinking about
the tree.
how could I got out of that situation without wrecking the slide out. How I could have done it was turning hard right and then reversing, and then I would have pulled the rig away from the tree. I got close to the tree with the back and forth. On top of that, I think the ground sank slightly. So
yeah.
the ground sank, so I think the rig was like really half an inch or a quarter of an inch from touching the tree. And I was like, how the hell did I get the rig so close to this tree? Anyway, I ended up knocking off the damn topper. Then we drove out of there and we found out we went to another site. It took 4 sites at La Connor. I actually have a video.
Well, actually, it was their fault because they gave our site to somebody else.
The site we were supposed to get when we went in was taken by someone who decided to stay an extra night. Well, they should have moved that guy. That site, I checked it out. It was level, it was flat, it was open. Another thing about La Connor is very difficult. There's no 5G, T-Mobile, and very difficult to get satellite reception. Luckily, when we did get to site 279, which was the site that we eventually stayed at, we did have some form of satellite reception.
Yeah.
Although it was sporadic, it wasn't great. Okay, so that was La Connor.
Well,
so,
let me
by the
talk
way,
a little bit about La Connor.
Talk about the town.
Yeah, okay, so the 1,000 Trails, it was beautiful. We definitely want to go back there because the beach was stunning. And we didn't use it. They have a pool and hot tub that overlooks the San Juans, and the town is so cute. I've been there before. Then we went with some friends, on the boat that went under Deception Pass. But one thing about Washington State, it's a postcard wherever you go. And so many diversities of landscapes. And so anyway, La Connor is definitely a really fun town.
It's a little seaside holiday town. It's got wineries, got breweries, restaurants. It's on the water.
It's on the water.
Very good.
Picturesque.
We kayaked there. We kayaked there at La Connor at the from the 1,000 Trails campsite. So yeah. Oh, the whole of Washington coast is beautiful. Just a pity the politics sucks, but that's another story.
Yeah. So we love thumbs up to.
Right, so La Connor, and that was taking us back to we left Birch Bay, right? So we've gone all the way back to we've covered. So what happened today? So we get an ice cream cone, and I said to Lisa, "Look, we got a big ice cream. We don't do that very often. We need to watch our figure." We got these big ice creams, and I said to Lisa, "Shall we sit down and eat the ice cream?" No, we should walk and eat the ice cream. Then I said to her, "Hey, this ice cream's dropping on my shirt," and she says to me, "Well, you're not very coordinated," and then splat, her whole ice cream hits the ground.
My ice cream fell off. Well, it was thick. The guy gave us these 2 huge scoops, and it was on this tiny cone, so I think my scoop was just balancing. And the reason I didn't want to sit and eat the ice cream cone is I was freezing. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to just walk on the trail.
Just throw it on the ground.
And so my whole cone went on the ground, but he was just laughing because I just said, "Well, you're not that coordinated."
Yeah, so you're not coordinated, splat. So anyway, she picked it up, left half of it on the ground, and picked up, think, the part that wasn't.
I think I salvaged the part that didn't touch the ground.
I said, if you'd only wanted 1 scoop, I could have just paid for 1 scoop instead of buying 2 scoops. Anyway, that was, note to self, when you have ice cream, sit down and eat it.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a giant scoops of ice cream on a tiny little cone.
Yeah.
All right, let's do another couple of notes to self because I've got don't turn off the water. So when we're moving from, I think it was, I can't remember if it was from La Connor or Birch Bay, but Lisa, we're packing up to go, and Lisa, I didn't know Lisa was in the shower.
No, I told you.
Yeah, but I thought you were done.
No, I told him, I said, "Stuart, I'm in the shower, don't do anything with the water, don't turn off the water." Well, it takes me a while to take a shower. And I was in the shower. I had soap on my hair, soap in my face. Shampoo in my hair, soap in my face. and the water goes off.
Because I turned off the water.
And I'm scrambling
And I'm
to
hearing,
try to get water.
by the way, I'm hearing this screaming noise, and I'm thinking someone's torturing a dog. I'm like, I can, I'm outside. I can hear a dog yelping. Well,
And I'm pounding on the window, and I'm trying to find any water. So I found my San Pellegrino water.
she's trying to rinse her hair with a bottle of San Pellegrino.
Well, just to wipe my face so I could see.
And I said to her, all you needed to do was all you needed to do was turn on the water pump.
I was so mad. Oh,
so anyway,
I was like, that is like the worst thing that could ever happen.
Note to self: if you're in the shower and your partner turns the water off, there is a water pump. You just switch it on, and then you would have
I didn't know. I know.
But also make sure your wife's out the shower before you turn off the water. Very important. Okay, I've got two more.
Never been so mad.
I've already mentioned one. Note to self: don't hit trees. That's another one. The last one.
You have more notes to self than I have, by the way.
They're all me.
Do the one that you ruined the little wheel for the third time.
I know, so
that
was the other note to self. One of the things when you're moving sites, especially when you're frustrated, and I'm talking about moving from site to site within the campground because at Laconnor we couldn't level, so we had to move. Well, when you have to move, we have to hook up the dolly again. She's driving with the car. Well, when you hook up the dolly, there are things that you do differently when the car's on the dolly and when a car's not on the dolly. One of the things, anyway, that you need to do is you need to turn the wheel jack around so that it's not on the ground. Well, because I was frustrated, I had already knocked the slide out topper off the rig at this point. I forgot to put the wheel of the dolly up, and well, going from one side to the next, I damaged that, so I had to buy a complete new unit, which is $175 for that.
And again, you're just, I'm in the car with the walkie-talkie.
But you never noticed that the wheel was down that time.
Well, I could see you hitting logs. So you turn the corner, I go, stop, you're hitting these logs. And then he gets out, and he sees that you didn't put the tire thing down. No, I did see that. I think I did see that one.
You just didn't tell me about it.
No, I did. I'm starting to scream and yell, and it's just...
Anyway, damaged the whole damn thing. I did it once before. I broke the wheel. The wheel's a plastic wheel. The wheel shattered. All I needed then was
We probably fight every moving day almost.
Not every moving day.
Because it's so stressful, and a lot of times we don't eat anything.
Moving days are stressful because it's very, like I said, I don't know about other campgrounds in general, but Thousand Trails, lots of tight, lots of trees, lots of other rigs. You have to be very careful moving in, moving out. You have to make sure... And of course, we have a checklist that we never look at.
Oh, I know. I don't know why. We got this checklist, so we need to add to it.
But we're determined not to look at the checklist.
I don't know why.
Somehow.
I know we don't do it. I think we figure out
I've got a note over here, are the jacks down, because I've started to move the slide outs in when the jacks are up, or move, so I've got a note there saying, are the jacks down, to remind me that the jacks need to be down before you move the slides, otherwise you can damage the chassis. And then I'm thinking about putting a note on the dolly, make sure that the wheel is up. We're getting old. I'm getting old.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of multitasking.
Yeah, especially when
So Stuart, like at the end of the day, I'm drinking. I don't know what you said, but I'm gonna go get some beer. And so we used to kind of just drink on moving day. Sometimes we're like, okay, it's moving day. Get some wine at the end, Just because it's stressful,
well,
but then some days are easy.
Another thing we've decided is, well, we might not do it this time, but because we're only moving 40 miles this time, is have something to eat in the morning when we're moving, because by the end of the day, your nerves are stretched. Not just from packing up, but then you have to drive, and then you get to the next place, and you have to go through the whole rigmarole again to reset up.
Yeah, and then we're always worried about snow. She wants to be out of this rig 24/7. She tastes freedom, and she wants it. And so, we have to lock her into the bedroom, and the pocket door is broke, kind of, the latch on it. So I have to jar the door because she can open it with her paws. Because we're worried about, at a truck stop, her getting out. So we have to always watch the cats. And
the cats used to be indoor cats, and they still are. But Snowbell, we've got two cats, Snowbell and Maximus. Maximus is slower and stupider than her.
Come in, come say hi to everybody.
She loves being outside, and she doesn't realise the danger that she could be in. There's coyotes here, there's bears here.
Yeah.
There's cars driving around, so she loves being outside. But as soon as the door opens, she's ready to fly. So we need to always now make sure that she doesn't get out.
You good
And
girl.
there's Max. I don't know if you can see him. He's
Come here, man.
putzing down here.
I think he wants to go out
He's
now,
probably complaining because Lisa's sitting in his chair because that's where he sleeps.
He's at your chair. Say hi.
So anyway, we've covered.
I know.
We're trying to keep it short
tell 'em
because
what
we know
we're
we
doing
ramble.
now.
We do know we ramble.
too. Yeah. What are we doing next?
Next we're here or
No.
next site.
Our next site.
Well, we'll give you more later, but from here we're going to Seaside, Oregon. It's only about 40 or 50 miles away. I think it's about a hour and a half drive going slow, just across the border. And we have friends from Scotland coming over
Yeah.
to join us, Louise
Yeah,
and Martin. So we're
yeah.
looking forward to that.
I feel bad because they're coming from rainy climate. You know, Scotland's just like Western Washington, but they can only come this time of the year. But they're looking forward to it. But the weather's been just perfect for 2 months in Washington. It's the first day. It's supposed to rain tonight, and then it's supposed to rain in Oregon when they get here. But then there's some sunny days next week.
It's coming into fall, so the weather has changed quite dramatically.
Right, right.
When we came here, the weather was in the high 70s during the day, and today it's like
So we're going to be
62.
going from 1 week in Seaside, Oregon. Then we're going to cross the mountains and stay a week in Bend, we stay 2 weeks in Seaside, and then a week in Bend, Oregon, and then from there we're going back to the
south.
coast,
More on that.
and we'll continue on sharing. We'll be in Oregon for about a couple months.
All right, so I think we'll wrap it, but we have more notes to self that we may share once we figure out
Yeah,
what
we
those
need
are.
to do a whole thing just on notes to self. They're getting ridiculous because there's so many.
Note to self, don't do this.
We're going to have to have a
don't do
note to self because we're going to forget the notes to self that we've done. You know?
that. Right. So I think we'll wrap it. We were in the north of Washington, Birch Bay during our last video. Now we're at.
But
Long
all
Beach
the
on
places
south.
we've been here, we love it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful. We'd say,
Washington coast is awesome.
yeah. I mean,
One thing is bad: the diesel price.
oh, yes.
Crazy, $5 plus per gallon, insane, and I think we've got more to come in Oregon and California. So, when we were in Texas, it was $3 a gallon. Now it's $5 plus. Just crazy diesel prices. But other than that, it's all good.
Yeah, we're having fun. We
Yeah.
did a lot. We laughed a lot today. We
Yeah.
just were making each other just laugh, and so yeah, we really are
We've
enjoying the
outdoors.
journey.
1,000 Trails for us was never going to be about the 1,000 Trails itself. These are a place to park the rig so that we can do stuff.
Yeah,
And we covered North Cascades National Park, we've covered Olympic National Park, and
Right.
we've covered Mount Rainier National Park. So we've done 3 national parks since we've been here, plus a couple of state parks.
right, yeah. And so we love it.
All right, I
Love the
think we'll wrap
lifestyle.
it. Okay, to our friends and subscribers, all 55
Yeah,
in here.
thanks for watching.
If you see it, subscribe down
And
below.
let us know if there's anything you'd like us to share,
Any
talk
questions,
about. We
any
still want to
questions?
do topics.
Yeah, any questions for us?
Yeah.
We'll give you answers.
And I'm sorry we're not on it very much. We went every 2 months, but you're on it more than I am. You post.
Well, I filmed the whole video in Laconer, but I never published it because it's so bad. I'm using. See, we're rambling. I'm using Final Cut Pro, which I'm a beginner at, and it's not very intuitive. And if it is intuitive, then maybe I'm not intuitive. But it's very complex to me, and I haven't had a lot of time to figure out how it really works yet. So we may improve, we may not. We're not looking to be doing professional,
Yeah.
edited, super smooth videos. We just want to share our adventures and maybe help some people out with some
Yeah.
tips and tricks, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.